Welcome to the Boost Your IQ video series. This series demonstrates setup and operation of unique features on the Liquid Control's IQ family of registers. Be sure to follow our YouTube channel and you will be notified as new features are released in this video format. In this tutorial, we'll be covering how to upgrade the software on your IQ register from version 108 to version 111, and also how to upgrade BR1000 software and what the different software versions are. To begin with, we're going to have a look at the different software that is on the IQ register so you have a better understanding of what all will be upgraded. When upgrading the IQ register, there are two main software platforms that we're concerned with. The first is the SR1000 software. SR1000 is the base operating software or user interface. It's what defines the look and feel of the register as it operates. The second is the BR1000 software. The BR1000 software is how the unit boots up and down. This is important because it's how the operating system comes online. With regard to the SR1000 software, there are two additional software platforms that can automatically be uploaded if an upgrade is required. The first is the SR1010 software. If an SR1010 software is required, that means there's been a change to the main I/O board software that requires some different upgrades, such as an adjustment to the serial ports or solenoid valves. The SR1011 software is the software that runs the hardware for the IQ Sense board, which is an expansion module to the LCR.iQ. The IQ Sense software, SR1011, will only upgrade if a change has been made to the IQ Sense software. It will also only upgrade if an IQ Sense board is installed and active. Before we proceed, it's important to know how you can find out the current software versions on your existing register. There are two different ways to get the current versions of software from your register. The first you can see without having to put the unit into the calibration mode. This can simply be done by accessing the diagnostics mode. First, press the main menu button, then scroll down to Diagnostics and press OK. Then you'll see in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a button here for About. If you press the About button, now you can see all the current versions of the SR series software that's available. So you can see this unit currently has SR1000 and SR1010 installed. If you also have IQ Sense installed, you would see an SR1011 version as well. Only units that have IQ Sense will show SR1011. The other option for viewing the About screen is through the Update Software section. To do this, you must be in the calibration mode. So the first thing we'll do is put the register into the calibration mode by rotating the bolt on the side of the register counterclockwise. This will put the register in the calibration mode. Next, we'll use the keypad to navigate to the Setup menu, then to the Security mode, and press OK. Once you're in Security mode and the unit is in the calibration position, you'll see a Software Upgrade button. If you press the Software Upgrade button, you'll see in the bottom right-hand corner is an About button. When you press the About button, you'll see all the same information that you would see in the diagnostics screen. Once you've determined the need to upgrade your software, it's important that you visit the Liquid Control's website and access our FTP to ensure that you have the latest versions of software. To visit our website, visit www.lcmeter.com. Once you're on our website, there's two different ways to access the FTP. One, at the bottom of the screen, you can access the public FTP from this link down here at the bottom, or from the Resources tab at the top, you can access Public FTP. Once you're in the Public FTP, just click the Public folder, then click the Software folder, then click LCR.iQ software. Now you'll be in the Public FTP site for the Liquid Control's LCR.iQ software. If you're having trouble navigating to this website, simply contact Liquid Control's customer support and they can send you a link that will take you directly to this folder. Once you've navigated to the public site for our LCR.iQ software, to download the software, simply locate the links for the software. Here you'll see Liquid Control's BR1000 v1.72 and also SR1000 v1.11. To download these files, just simply click the link and this will begin the download process automatically. So I'll download both the software files. Both those are downloading to wherever on your PC your downloaded files are saved. In my case, it's my downloading folder. I can also, while I'm in here, download the Upgrading the LCR.iQ PDF, which is a written version of what we're describing in this tutorial. Lastly, if I'm in a region that's running Avery or Hardall branded registers, in other words, they're running the MASTERLOAD.iQ software, rather than downloading the Liquid Control's BR1000 for the bootloader, you'll want to come in and download the Avery Hardall branding package. So if you open that folder, you'll find the Avery Hardall BR1000 software for v1.72. This will brand your register for Avery Hardall MASTERLOAD.iQ. Once you've downloaded the files from the FTP site, you'll want to locate those files on your computer. In my case, they've downloaded to the Downloads folder. So I'll open the Downloads folder, and here are all the files that we just downloaded from the FTP. You can see my instruction manual, as well as the 2 software versions that we're going to be upgrading today. The next thing we'll want to do is we'll want to save these files to a USB drive. So you'll need to find a USB drive, preferably one that is blank. Insert that USB drive into your computer. Then you're going to copy these 2 files. So I'm going to select these 2 files, and I'm going to choose to copy them. And I'm going to go to my USB drive, and I'm going to create a new folder on my USB. If you have not upgraded software before in the past, you'll need to, on your USB stick, create a folder. To do that, right-click into the folder and select New for Folder. Then name that folder Import, I-M-P-O-R-T. So very important that you have a folder called Import. Once you have an import folder, open that folder and paste the files you've copied into the import folder. Once the files have downloaded, you'll see the files inside our import folder on our USB drive. Now you can unmount your USB drive from your computer and take that USB drive out to your device to download into the IQ registers. Once you have your USB stick loaded with the software that you need to upgrade, go out to your register and open up the register by removing the 4 bolts on the outside of the register cover. Once you have the bolts removed, open the door to the register, and inside you'll see the main circuit board. Located in the main circuit board is a USB input right here in the center. Take your USB drive and insert it properly into the USB slot. You can then safely close the door, ensuring that you're not putting any pressure on the USB drive. Once the USB drive is in place, we'll need to go ahead and enter the calibration mode so we can access the software update section of the software and mount the USB drive. So to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my register in the calibration position. Locate the bolt on the side of the register and rotate it counterclockwise about 6 turns until the register goes into the calibration mode. If you have a ticket printer connected, this will also print a calibration ticket. This can be an important tool when setting up the LCR.iQ later. We do have a save and load configuration that will save this information. However, it never hurts to have a calibration ticket as backup. This ticket will print when you enter the calibration mode if you have a ticket printer connected and a ticket in place. If you retain this for your records, it may come in handy later on if needed. To continue, once you put the register in the calibration mode, you'll automatically be in the main menu. Navigate to the setup menu by using the up or down arrows. Then navigate to the security section and press OK. Once you're in the security section and the register is in the calibration position, press the Update Software button, and this will bring you into the Update Software section. Once you've installed the USB stick, the first thing you want to do is load the files from the USB stick onto the register. So you'll notice that the first option here is Load Files from USB. So I'm going to go ahead and press OK. And that's going to automatically go out and read the USB drive, and it's going to load any of the files that are on the USB drive onto the register itself. Now this is only loading the file. It is not implementing the software. So the next step will be to implement the software. Prior to upgrading the software and installing the firmware, it's also important to notice that you can do a save and load configuration. The save configuration allows you to take all the information that's installed on your iQ register currently and save it into a file on that USB stick that's installed. So that way, once you've done the upgrade, you can go back and do the load configuration process and reload all the information into your register. So if we quickly do this demonstration, if you go to the Save Configuration and press OK, you can come in here and save that configuration. Now, if you have multiple trucks to do, you'll want to save each configuration as its own name. So in this case, if I press OK, rather than using the default name of LCR.iQ Cal, I'm going to just change this to my truck number. And I know that my truck number in my unit ID field is 123. So this will be a very easy way to identify which calibration or which configuration file that you've saved. So now that I've named it as my truck number 123, I press OK, and then I press Save, and that's going to save my configuration to my USB drive. There are full instructions on doing the save and load configuration process in a separate tutorial. Please reference those on the YouTube website for Liquid Controls. Once the configuration is saved, press the OK button, and now my configuration for truck 123 has been saved. I can press the Close button, and I'll be back at the software update screen. Now I can go ahead and begin the upgrade process. So the first thing I'll do is start with the Install SR1000 firmware. If I press OK here, it's going to come up and show me the two software files that I have loaded onto my USB stick that I downloaded from the FTP site. The first file we're going to load is the Liquid Controls BR1000 v1.72. So to load that software, I have it highlighted here on the screen, and I press OK. And it's going to say, are you sure that you want to install this signed version of the software? And I'm going to say yes, so I'm going to click the yes button. And it's going to go ahead and kick off the software installation process. And this process can take anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds to upload. And you'll see on the screen what's occurring as it's occurring in real time. Once the software is done loading, it's going to go ahead and reboot the register. You'll see the screen go black like it did now. And eventually it's going to come back on and start the reboot process. You'll see in this process, once we update the version v1.72 of the BR1000 software, you'll notice that it populates that version number down here at the bottom of the maintenance mode screen. As we finish the maintenance mode screen, you'll see it changes from done to now requesting us to power down the unit for 30 seconds. This is part of the upload process for the BR1000 software. So I'm going to go ahead and power down my register for the 30 seconds. I'm going to wait for that 30 seconds to be complete. What this does is it allows the register to completely shut down all the processes that run in the background. After that 30 seconds is up, everything should have been properly shut down. And so when we go to reboot the register again, it will do a full and complete boot up of the register. Now that we've waited our 30 seconds, I'll go ahead and power the register back up. Again, the register will reboot as normal. And once it boots up, we're just going to follow the instructions on the screen. So you'll see, in this case, it's asking if we've installed the newer version of the SR1010 software. Well, we haven't done that yet. So right now we've just upgraded the BR1000 software. So I'm going to go ahead and press the OK button. And you'll notice now I'm back in the software update screen. So I'm going to go back. There's no need to reload our files because they're already off the USB stick onto the register. We're going to go ahead and go back to the Install SR1000 firmware and press OK. And this time I'm going to down arrow to the other version of software that we're going to upgrade, which is the SR1000 v1.11 software. So I select that software and press OK. And again, it's going to ask me if I'm sure I want to download that software. I'm going to say yes. And it's going to kick off this installation process. Again, this is going to go out and update the SR1000 software. This will start the process off of downloading the software, and then again, the register will reboot. And then we're going to follow the on-screen prompts to see what it asks us to do next. Again, when doing the software upgrade, if it's required to enter the maintenance mode, you'll see on the screen that it'll enter the maintenance mode. It'll change and say maintenance mode done once it's updated. And then eventually it will ask you to reboot the software. Again, we're going to power the register down for the 30 seconds to reboot the unit fully and completely. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the power from my register. And of course, when removing the power from your register, this can be as much as turning the key off to the register so there's no more power to the register, or opening the register up and pulling the power plug for the terminal power of the LCR.iQ. After the 30 seconds has passed, you can go ahead and reboot your LCR.iQ by reapplying the power. Once you reapply the power, you should see the LCR.iQ logo screen after power is applied. And then the LCR should again boot fully and give you further instructions on the screen if other software needs to be upgraded. So, as part of this instruction, since we're going from an older version of software to this newer version of software, it's telling me that there's a system alert and that there is a corrupt file in the memory. This is normal and typical when doing an upgrade from version 108 to version 111. What this means is not all the files line up exactly correctly. So the best thing to do here is to perform a clear all, as it's recommending here on the screen. So to do the clear all process, you just follow the screen. So it says to do a clear all process, go to security factory mode and access this setting. So I'm going to press OK. Then I'm going to navigate to the setup menu and then to security. Once I'm in the security, you'll see the errors on the screen. This means these files are corrupt. To clear this, we simply go to the reset register fields and press OK, and then choose clear all from the list and press OK again. It'll say, warning, we're going to clear all the settings, and you're just going to say OK or yes as well. And that's going to go ahead and perform the clear all process. Now, at this point, what it's telling us is there is a new version of the SR1010 software available for this unit. Would you like to install that now? And the answer should always be yes. So we want to go ahead and hit yes. And this is going out and again installing. Remember, when we load the SR1000 software, if there are updates to the 1010 or the 1011 software, it's going to recognize that you have that need to upgrade those versions. And it's going to kick that process off here after the clear all. So now it's installing the updates to the SR1010 software and installing I/O board firmware updates. Once the software is loaded, it's going to go ahead and apply that software and complete the upgrade process. You'll see the I/O board firmware has successfully been loaded. I can press the OK button, and now it's telling me if I have an IQ Sense board that I should update that software as well. In this case, I don't have an IQ Sense board, so I'm just going to go ahead and press the OK button. If you did have an IQ Sense board, The other step you're going to need to make sure you do is go into the I/O setup section of the register and make sure that you set the number of IQ sense boards to 1, because after the clear all, it will reset it to 0. Once you set the number of sense boards to 1, that will again kick off the process to go ahead and download the SR1011 software. Again, you only need to do this if you have IQ sense boards installed that require an upgrade. Once you've upgraded the software, if you did save your configuration and you want to load that back into the register, you simply need to go back into the Update Software section. So again, I'm going to go to the Setup menu, into the Security section, and with the switch in the calibration position still, I can press the Software Upgrade button, and now I can go to the Load Configuration and press OK. That's going to go up and load any of the configurations I have saved into my register. In this case, you can see file name 123 is what I saved it as. However, if you have multiple versions of software in there, you can select that field and it will give you a drop-down list box of all the different file names that you've saved as configurations. Once I've selected my configuration file name, I can hit the load button, and that will automatically go out and load the configuration file onto my register. This will put all the information that was existing prior to my upgrade back into the register, into the newer version of the software. Once the upgrade is complete, you may see one of two screens. One screen may see that everything was successful. If there weren't any differences or major differences between the upgraded versions, you may not see that anything was out of sync. In this case, because I went all the way from version 108 to version 111, there are a lot of features that were added into the IQ register in that point in time, mainly around the analog triggering for our 4 to 20 inputs. Because those weren't in version 108 and are now in version 111, this screen is just telling us that there's fields in those analog triggers that do not exist in the software and when they were loaded onto this register. Since I was not using that feature in version 108, it's simply fine just to hit the OK button and say OK and clear that message. Now my configuration is saved. If I press the close button, you'll see now if I go all the way back and put the register back out of the calibration position, when I print my calibration ticket, all my information is up to date, and when I press the home button, my information for my product and all the information that I had in there previously, my time, date, totalizer information is all back intact since I had downloaded that configuration. Thank you for watching this episode of Booster.iQ on upgrading your IQ software from version 108 to version 111. If you have any additional comments or questions, please do not hesitate to contact the Liquid Control Service Department at any time. Thank you.